Let me thank you for giving me the floor and thank the management of the school and its leadership for the only hospitality we are receiving and the arrangement for today's occasion. First, I will tell you one thing. You'll be surprised. These prices you are seeing today, I was living on these prices to pay my school fees in Nasir. Please note that. I was living on the prices to pay a school fees in Nasir. There was a moment in 1987 when a certain minister by the name Sajo Ture, either Minister of Forestry or Environment or Agriculture at that time, I can't remember. Environment, thank you so much. He came to our ceremony. I was a student like you. And then, of course, Uncle Umar Khan was also here as the commissioner. I can't forget that day because when I was called like Nasir in those days, like today, you will be called first in this, they give you. First in this, they give you. First in this, they give you. Quranic competition, first in this, they give you. At the end of the day, that day, I can't remember how many prizes I went home with, but I thank the school for that. And from that day, I found my salvage in trying to maintain what could be good for me, especially with the help of my parents, my guardians, my teachers, and obviously my friends, some of whom are here today, very close to Karamotanda. And for that reason, as I said, I particularly acknowledge the executive members of the Nasir Alumni Association. But of course, the journey was not easy, and yours will not be easy either. Remember, one thing I'm advising you before I jump into the speech. The wall you are heading to is not a dangerous wall, it's a very difficult one. The wall you are leading to then will be the wall you create for yourself if only you know what you are prepared to do. Remember, the question is, how can you be a lawyer and also a telecommunications expert? It's not easy. But that's the challenge we are giving you. Don't go with one profession. Those days are over. If you want to study medicine, look for another thing to add to the medicine. That's today the very concrete philosophy of life. If you want to do engineering, look for a second alternative and do both. We want to make our people, our citizens, competitive. With that, you can travel, and you can travel very far. That is my journey. From Nasir to India, to Greece, to the United Kingdom, and I spent almost 10 years of my life serving as the advisor to the minister and the president of the Republic of Rwanda, President Paul Kagame. And it did not stop there. I had to come back and serve my country as the Director General of Gambia Submarine Cable Company Limited. You know what we do? You know what we do? If we stop operating, if I should send a text message, God forbid I cannot, but if I should do that, even our Emil will not be able to communicate with this mobile phone. Because whatever you are having on those phones, that capacity you are using, don't assume you are having from others. We give them and they give you. So the GSC is the one that is providing you that communication infrastructure. So my challenge to you is, how can you be a lawyer with almost 23 years experience and also have that specialty in telecommunications. If you find me in the engineering room, then you'll understand that you have more to do. If I can do it as a student with no guidance, when I was coming to Nasir, I did not even have a slippers. That's my story. You can do better than me today. But first, we have to understand a few things, and that would be the important roles of the key stakeholders on this journey. Those who are about to graduate and those who have graduated or are graduating today. So for that I can say, I believe all of us today we have brought with us here some special gift of influence, and that influence emanates from our respective cultural and traditional practices at home. You will agree with me. All of us are coming from a family. All of us have parents. And those parents, some may believe in, some are gone. But their memory and that advice stays, so they are still there. In other words, when I sat here, there was a certain song and a dance. I was touched. But please, before I move, I have to say this thing. For anything you are preparing yourself for life, for anything, one important value, one most important value, is the value you see in yourself and the value you see in others. And that value is you are not better than them, they are not better than you. It's a state, and what is a government? Very different. But since that's not what I'm here to talk about, I just have to tell you there are differences. But the term nation building, as it is widely used, still remains to be a little bit broadly dark. We can't understand. What is nation building? Does it mean infrastructure? Physical. Does it mean infrastructure? That is just what you can see and perceive. How cohesive are we as a country? So many people will see it as a process, and others will see it as a multifaceted issue with so many dimensions. But I have to say, as lawyers, we always go for propositions that are having basis. And today's proposition, the basis, is in the law we have in the Gambia, and also within the United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child. But as I attempt to go into this discussion, Mr. Chairman, no party or no responsibility can be a standalone one. The roles of the parents and the teachers in the nation building cannot obviously be overemphasized. They all have some roles to play. But remember, the word we place on parental commitment determines the kind of investment we place on our children for tomorrow. Just imagine, the two people we just saw, their mothers and their fathers decided to come because they are graduating. Those are the people, if you call them for a parent-teachers meeting, they will always appear. If you call them anytime, they are there. So they are the change makers. For that reason, I believe my wife thought it's important, as also herself a member of student parent organization. It's important that we excite some of you for next year for you to be here. And my promise is, if we live to see next year, and if we live with the resources that Allah has given us today, next year, each of you come with your mother and father for this occasion. There is a prize for them. Now, we must acknowledge that the success of the students depends on to the greater extent on parents and family factors. But the key is to education is motivation, because education is motivation at the parent's need. The parent is the primary teacher, and the school helps parents to educate their children. My own brother said it here, Mr. Salo, as well as Dr. Bani also said the same. Now, we have read so many books to tell you what a parent should do, what a teacher should do, and what they should not do. But you know what? These people who have just been singing and beating nice songs of the national anthem, rather, everything is in that national anthem. Everything is there. Now, if we have to borrow from that national anthem, we shall not have the nation of our dream, that all may live in unity, freedom, and peace live there, and guide and justice guide our actions toward the common good in this country, unless we have a positive change of attitude in the commitment of our parents to the education of their children. These are trying times. If we want to be committed, you cannot be committed halfway. Commitment is unconditional. The day you have decided to be a mother and father is the day you have decided to be committed for the rest of your life. But unfortunately, we have our challenge. And in all these challenges, the first challenge is effective decision making. You see children, parents nowadays, what do? Some will tell you, my children will go to Arabic school before going to English school. And then the father would say no, they will first go to English school and they can learn Quran there. I was a victim of that as well. Decision making is key, and it has to be based on some sincere and effective commitment. No matter how we see how daunting the task is for parenting, there is, of course, no other sublime responsibility that is more sublime than parenting. To that, I applaud all of you for allowing me, Mr. Chairman, to be part of today's occasion and to engage in one of the most important discussions today by my colleagues on the high table, you listening front and back, and my small self saying a few assertions that may be right or wrong. But I say to you, thank you very much. May Allah continue to shower His infinite blessings on Nasir Ahmadiyya Muslim Junior and Senior School. Long live Nasir alumni. We shall be back next year with more gifts to you. Thank you very much.
Well, by following the protocols, I'm giving a very simple task now, because my previous speaker, our mentors, I don't know how the school managed to come up with these mentors. I know when we were here, they were our seniors. I can remember Barrister Lamin very well, because they are kind of they guide us, because they were performing extremely well, that you don't want to be left behind. And thank God they were able to show all those roads. Likewise, Mr. Malang, and that's why they are here to grace this occasion. It is indeed an honor and privilege to be with you here this morning or now afternoon and give an opportunity to serve as your guest speaker by the management of the school on the theme Service to Humanity. In this same school where all started for me. Sir Chairman, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, for me, it could be not more than this to come up to a place where it kind of all started with my life. In my quest for higher learning, and that is Nasir Ahmadiyya High School, as we may call it before, on this very important day of your life, and that is the day you are leaving these four corners of the school, this very day, four corners of the school, into a very rough life, but also interesting. As the saying goes, life is all about what you make of it. Mr. Chairman, reflecting on the theme of my my statement, service to humanity, I would take this opportunity, this golden opportunity, to share my thoughts on the graduating student or any other person that may find them relevant in his or her existence as a human being. Mr. Chairman, service to humanity could be regarded as an ethical standard of service. In other words, service with compassion, love, and service to humanity around the world without expectation. And I think my previous speaker mentioned what our obligations are as human within the spheres of where we live. In doing so effectively, there are key attributes that a human being should ascribe and need to be pure inherent in our intention, industrious in our efforts, and humble in our achievement. And that is also very key when you are serving humanity. Fundamentally, 5 ideal steps are considered on how to serve humanity. One of them, you have to build foundation. Chisel yourself into a person you want to be, piece by piece or step by step. In other words, you want to do something for the society. It is important for you to know what you want to do and do it gradually. And I know as young people, we are very much in a haste. You want to do things fast, which means you end up not getting anything. So it is important, if you want to serve the community, try to make sure that you do it step by step. Find your way out. Find the reason why you want to truly serve the community. In that, it is Japanese philosophy on problem solving by getting the rest or the root issue of the problem. However, using it yourself will help you. In other words, you have to know what you are trying to solve for the humanity in serving them. And in that also, you have to make sure that you find the problem so that you'll be able to serve them well. Otherwise, you're going to track the issues and eventually you're not going to continue. And life starts and without continuing, it's just like life not starting. So build your foundation. Chisel yourself the person you want to be, piece by piece or step by step. I mentioned that one earlier. Act daily. Sometimes you are very lazy. We feel that there's a lot of time for us. All the time, procrastination is not a good way of trying to do things in your life. In serving the community, no matter how small the act is, any contribution you make can possibly impact on or even change someone else's life. Never let a day to go by where you don't at least do your course. Once you stop growing, you start dying. So trust your instinct. Follow your heart. You know, some of you, particularly young ones, at some point you are at a crossroad. And it is important to follow your heart. Follow your instinct. What do you want to do? Whatever it tells you, there's likely that there's something light in the end of the tunnel. But sometimes we are so confused, so in a haste, to a level that you cannot even know what you want to do. And in that actually affects us. We young people, you cannot be all as directors, because the position for directors are not men. We cannot be all whatever you think. We cannot be all lawyers. But we can also do something that is going to contribute meaningfully towards the attainment of nation building. You are here because your parents have done a lot for you to be here. And when they call you, wherever you may find yourself, Oh, today my mom just called me. I know when I see you don't even want to listen, to take the phone. You don't want even to take the call. And when we are struggling here, they are the ones who are behind all the struggle. So give back to your people. And Samala mentioned something, don't be Sibijang Dibion. That means instead of helping your parents, you are even going to serve people who are not even, and then they are the ones who contributed enoughly towards your success. So, and if you respect your parents, you give them what you can, you will never going to be a failure in life.
I want to remind you, the graduate students, that life after school is full of challenges. Most of those challenges cannot be overcome by the knowledge you have acquired in the various subjects. With this in mind, we did not and will never allow or compromise our rules and regulations. We want to produce students that are disciplined, law-abiding, among others. As you are going out to face the challenges that await you, please have it in mind that you will be interacting with people that are different from you in many ways. Some of those people will determine your fate in life. Therefore, in your dealings with people, you need to be law-abiding, patient, respectful, and considerate. Above all, be prayerful. Over the years, Nasir has achieved a lot. We are grateful that we have a vibrant Mothers Club, SMC, and other stakeholders, including Nasir Alumni Association. I am pleased to inform you that in spite of the constraints imposed by COVID-19, our 2021 WAS results were not as bad as COVID-19 itself. Health science recorded 100%, biology 94, history 86, Islamic studies 82, business management 80, science, geography, and physics 70% each. However, I must say without hesitation that we are always faced with challenges. The school cannot do all when it comes to discipline and academic performance of the students. This is a very important area in which the cooperation and involvement of certain or some parents is lacking. We are also constrained by lack of space as the school is growing, but by Allah's grace, soon that will become history. Mr. Chairman, please allow me to draw attention to the problems created for us when the Basse-Fatoto Road or highway was constructed. Certain vehicles can no longer access the school, and the gate becomes a pool whenever it rains. We have been struggling with these problems which never existed before the road construction. Letters were written to all the relevant authorities, and promises were made but never fulfilled. For 3 good years, we have been following this matter. We hope it will be history very soon.
Police, ability to implement programs that will better your life, better the life of your community, better the life of everybody. That is what education is all about. So if we are able to train the minds to develop good attitudes, then we can call ourselves educated people. And then the purpose of our education will then be achieved. Your leaders are your reflection. This is a very philosophical term. How many of us understand our leaders are our reflections? Our leaders are coming from us. Tomorrow, one of you will be a leader. And that leader is going to behave like each and every one of us here is behaving. If we are bad, our leader will be bad. No doubt, whatever leader we have, even if we drop from the sky, as far as we are bad, our leader will be bad. It's impossible. But when we are good, remember, we will make sure that our leaders are good. And therefore, the most important aspect of development is to have good leadership. If you look at the concept when I first entered this school, I tried to develop what we call the theory of distributed leadership, where I try to make everybody a leader. So everyone responsible of certain aspects. And then collectively, my only role is to supervise and then correct. And the system was running. I remember many times I'll be in the school here during weekends. A visitor would come, and he would find somebody hoeing with the caretakers. And he would say, I'm looking for the principal. So if I said, I'm the principal, he will step back and shake his head. You are the principal? I say yes, because I look dirty. I was having a hope, hoeing with the caretakers like we were colleagues, friends. And I was trying to train everybody. Those at that time, I am not better than the caretaker, and the caretaker was not better than me. I was just lucky to be the principal of the school. And the purpose is for me to train everybody to respect the work of everybody. If we do not have caretakers and support staff in this school, we will not be able to stay in this school. And that is one of the formulas I used. Throughout my stay in this school, I used to teach. I taught mathematics, I taught physics, I taught chemistry. But I spent most of my lifetime teaching physics. And one time we invited one of my famous students, and when he spoke here, I started dropping tears. Why? Because he said something that touched my life. And that was the life I was trying to, demonstrate. I used to bring my students because I was a busy man. I worked too much, day and night. I had to meet all the regulations of the school. I had to bring my students to the school on Sundays, 9 o'clock. And then when I bring them to the school, I will keep them here from 9 o'clock in the morning up to 9 o'clock at night. And I have a responsibility there. Then I will ask my home to cook benakin for them or something and bring food for them. So when it is time for lunch, I will ask them to go and bring lunch, and they will eat, and we will all eat together, and after we'll continue our classes. That was the responsibility. And then the lady met, when she came here, narrated that story, and that story touched me so much. Our guest speakers started. I would say in our education system we have 5 pillars, very important pillars. And then they spoke a lot on one of the pillars, that is the community, the parents. But remember, education in the Gambia is being sifted to be the affairs of Ministry of Education alone. And then if there will be a second party, it's going to be schools. I want to say that the stakeholders in education primarily can be 5 pillars. And the most important among them is the parents. That's what the Holy Prophet has said. And this is what we are trying to abandon. Our guest speakers alluded to that one. Africa had a very good education system. It's not an education system where we have Nasir, St. George's, and so on and so forth. But they had ceremonies, and these ceremonies were there to socialize, to initiate people into our society. And that is our circumcision. Whether it is women's circumcision or male circumcision, the most important aspect of it is the training. We go to the bush for many months, and there everything that was done there was the training. Some people went to the bush, they were never caught, but they were trained to behave like Gambia.
Today, you are graduating. And for so, your parents, relatives, friends, teachers are all indeed proud of you all. As graduates of Nasir Ahmadiyya Muslim Senior Secondary School, when you go out, you should all be good ambassadors of this great school and should always conduct yourselves in the best possible manner wherever you may be. As I sit here to celebrate you, you should remember that and also know that graduating from high school or senior secondary school is not the end of your educational journey, but indeed it is the start of your facing many other challenges in life. Some of you will be traveling abroad to further their education. Some of you will go to the University of the Gambia and others educational institutes inside and outside this country. Many will also have or leave their comfort zones all geared towards bettering yourselves and that of your dear ones.